What's up, horse racing fans? Welcome to another episode of the Inside Post. Today's episode, we are going to go way back in history and talk about the Jerome Stakes and how it got its name. Now, if you know a little bit about this, the Jerome Stakes is actually named after the Jerome Racecourse, which was founded in about the 1800s, just after the Civil War, and later becomes Bronx, New York, kind of leading into Aqueduct and the NYRA Racing Association based in New York. So this year, obviously, the Jerome Stakes will be held like it has been on January 7th at Aqueduct Racecourse in Queens, New York. Since 2013, the Kentucky Derby Prep has been held at Aqueduct, but prior to that, it was held at Belmont and was raced in September. Obviously, as a Kentucky Derby Prep, the winner getting 10 points. The lone Jerome Derby double winner has came from Fuchsia's Pegasus in 2000. Not many others have went on to win the Jerome and go on to win the Kentucky Derby. However, it's not been done since 2000, so we'll see if we get one of those this year. So, it all started with Leonard Jerome, who is Winston Churchill's maternal grandfather, and August Belmont Sr., yes, Belmont, as in Belmont Stakes, purchased 230 acres of land and built what would be known as Jerome Racecourse or Racetrack in 1866. The opening of the racetrack signified a return to normalcy for most people after Civil War came to the end. People were looking to get back out in society or the political side, or out of the political side of things, and just needed that refresher, kind of like us coming back from COVID. We needed horse racing more than anything. It opened in a section of Westchester County, which was called Fordham. Again, it later became known as the Bronx. The clubhouse at Jerome Park was kind of unique. It was designed for those elite class of New York citizens, offered several first-class amenities, and kind of set the tone for what that horse racing luxury we all know as today. Historians have said that the clubhouse resembled like a luxurious hotel, and that's kind of what we see now in some of these higher class, higher end racinos or racing venues that we have today. Opening day, Jerome in 1866, when it first started racing, drew about 20,000 fans, which seems like a lot for the 1800s. But again, you're thinking, New York City. This was the big city at the time, kind of like what it is today. So not unusual to have that many people. One of the first legendary famous people for the Jerome Racecourse was the United States General Ulysses S. Grant, obviously just coming out of the Civil War, and 4 years later, would be the President of the United States. The first race at the park on opening day was won by an African-American jockey named Abe Hawkins, or Big Abe, or Little Abe, I believe is what they kind of called him as. He also rode Lecomte, which is another Derby Prep Stakes race, or namesake from the Prep race, beaten a famed horse known as Lexington, and he set a record during that race on opening day. So obviously the first Belmont Stakes, the one of the oldest of the 3 Triple Crown races, named after the buyer of, or the builder of, Jerome Race Park, was held at Jerome Race Park and continued to be ran there until the 1890s, when it was moved to what would later become Morris Park, once Jerome Park kind of fell to the wayside. It was home to the Champagne Stakes, which we still have today. Its first inaugural running was in 1867. They had the Ladies Handicap, which we still have today. I believe ran at Aqueduct as one of the oldest stakes races in the United States, just for fillies and mares. So a lot of rich history here at Jerome. A lot of rich history in a lot of these horse tracks that have kind of fell to the wayside or have been forgotten gems in the past 200 years. However, like I've kind of talked about, Jerome Race Park was known for revolutionizing racing by by offering those amenities, that luxuriness. They offered parimutuel betting, handicapping of races. So we start seeing the past performances, the tipsters, if you would, the bookies, and all of that of handicapping, of getting the angles that we still try to do today. It was one of the first tracks to race or have races for 2-year-olds. This was kind of the concept of claiming races, which the horse would be claimed for new ownership, was kind of innovated or developed at Jerome Race Park. However, like most good things, Jerome Race Park would fall to a necessary buyout. However, the city of New York would come in 28 years later and buy the park, basically buy it right out from under the owners. It would, however, be utilized for a new reservoir to accommodate, obviously, the growing population of New York City. Again, with all of the innovativeness that went into Jerome Park, what these two founders and what the people of the park instilled in racing, we see it obviously today. It kind of vaulted thoroughbred horse racing into the 20th, 19th, 20th centuries by just kind of giving it that feel for pleasure seekers, not only just the higher ups, I guess you would, in the society. So what came later was known as Morris Park. This became the new Jerome, and obviously it was purchased and built by John Albert Morris. He purchased a 309-acre tract of land just a little bit away from where Jerome Race Park would have been or was. He actually purchased his plot of land and built the racetrack with his lottery winnings from Louisiana. So the track compromised of a long grandstand that connected basically one end to the other and had obviously the clubhouse in the middle. It was 5 stories tall, made out of red brick and stone. This was a huge feature in New York City at this time, or on the outside of New York City, I guess. That was a venue, not necessarily the hustles and bustle that would be Wall Street. Again, Morris Park became the site of the Belmont Stakes from the 1890s to the 1900s. As well, it was the holder of the Preakness Stakes once in 1890. The overall scale of Morris Park was unique for American racecourses, as far as, there really wasn't a whole lot of seats at most, or grandstands, or clubhouses, or the luxurious features that most tracks would have. Some tracks would just have basically the rail that you stood at and really didn't have much seating. Morris Park and their businessmen, financiers, really put into the venue of the spectator side of things, and also catering to, the rich, if you would, in the clubhouse amenities that were available. However, again, in 1904, decline in attendance caused by competition from other city race courses that would become more popular. Morris Park, of course, closed for the last time. So 2 great racetracks that we basically were born and, I guess, cut down within 50 years, going from Jerome Race Park to the Morris Park, and that ended in 1904. Looking ahead, we do have the Jerome Stakes for 2023. However, it will be held at Aqueduct in New York City. This race will be ran on January 7th. If you're looking ahead to this race, Linda Rice has 2 in here. Chad Brown has a pretty good horse coming in out of cloud computing called Neural Networking. Just his second start in his very young career, so look to him to be your post-time, probably morning line favorite as well. Linda Rice's other horse in here is a little bit better than Felinzen Day. Arctic Arrogance, it has raced 4 times, finished first 2 and second twice, so not too bad in here. Should be a runner to run with the Chad Brown trained. There's also 5 other horses that have been entered, so we will see if we get a full-ish field of 6 or 7 racers come Saturday for Jerome. I thank you for watching this video. Hopefully a little bit of horse history goes a long way and kind of telling you all what and where and how we came from to what we know as our great racing sport today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check the description down below for our website of our blogs for racing weekends, racing news, and more historical writing that I plan on doing on some of the tracks in the future. Also, check out some of the freebies, if you would, in the description down below. We have some flavors if you're into the whiskey, and we have a great offer on Kentucky Derby gear already out for 2023. Check out the link, get your codes for your discounts, and get your free shipping sent right to your door before Kentucky Derby Day. Thanks for watching.